evening, everybody. Welcome to the Sulk stream. I hope I'm not muted, but I usually am. Hold on. And I'm back. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Sulk stream. It is a Monday. It's Monday. It's Monday night, and I missed Daywave today because I was building a bridge, or I was removing a bridge. That's very important. I made some progress, so that's important. Because I'm getting a motherfucking boat, and so I was watching a lot of YouTube about boats, boating, and I found a documentary specifically about cigarette boats, the cool cigarette boats from the 80s where they smuggled drugs and raced, and there was famous people like Trump was involved, but there was Don Johnson was there. It was a happening time, and boy, what a time it was to be rich. It would have been nice. Anyways, guys, we're going to watch it, and we're going to enjoy it, and we're going to talk about it. How it relates to conspiracies, I don't know. I'll probably cook something up. Absolutely make it up. Absolutely pull it out of my ass. So, as long as you're cool with lies, stick around. Because welcome to the cult of lies. Trademark. 2025. Is it 2025? It is 2025. Damn. It's too many years. I'm getting too old for... No. I'm not. Anyways, I hope you guys are good. Had a great weekend. Did cool stuff. Made the best of your lives. Who knows how long it's going to last. Doesn't matter. Anyways, get comfy. Get cozy. Get your boat shoes on. And grab a nice bottle of Chipagani? The bubble stuff. Chipagani with the cork. Yeah, get on your D and meet me in the bay because we're going to go race some pretty sweet boats. It's actually a very interesting documentary, and I'm pretty excited to watch it. How I'm going to talk about it, I don't know, but I don't really care. So anyways, thanks so much for coming. I said that weird. I'm the Incredible Sulk. This is the Sulk stream, and this is called The Rise and the Demise of Offshore Powerboat Racing. Enjoy.
The song is called Smuggler's Blues.
There we go.
It set it off
There we
in
go.
a certain era of offshore racing.
It's actually pretty sick.
There was a group of people that came
Pretty
through
sick.
the sport that took us from the sport
Orange chart,
pages
despite
to the front
background
pages.
noise, rushing.
These guys had income from questionable sources.
Rushing says, I have a boat. It's a Nitro Z17. It's 18 feet. It's a bass boat. Sick. I was thinking about getting a little John boat. Nothing too serious because I have to launch it from the canal in my backyard. So, but maybe I'll get something bigger.
But they brought tremendous boats.
Maybe I'll get something
started
bigger.
their own engine companies.
A Daywave boat? No, that sounds gay. It'll just be my boat.
And they raised
It'll be the Sulk boat. We'll be on the Sulk stream. It'll be less gay than Daywave. I'm just saying. And no Asians allowed.
the bar in terms of budgets for offshore power.
No, I'm kidding. Somebody's got to work the kitchen. And yeah, you can't have women on boats because it's bad luck.
Powerboat racing. These guys also
you guys know
made
that?
the cover of Time
It's true.
magazine. In the end,
One woman on the boat, and they automatically get all wonky-footed, and they fall overboard, and then everyone has to deal with that. That didn't happen. Yet.
they left a tremendous legend in their wake. They were pirates, they were racers, they were exciting, but they were also doing time.
Rushing Matt says they are a waste of money. Yeah.
Women or boats?
Hey, he means women, but
For them for the rest of their lives.
Offshore powerboat racing is a sport that flirted with the impossible.
Rushing Matt, you shouldn't be saying that they're a waste of money. You should be telling me they're a good investment and I should probably try to mortgage my house to buy a boat. A very, very nice boat that goes very fast.
A symphony of speed, power, and glamour.
Because I'll do it.
For a few decades,
I will put my family in danger if I can have a really cool boat.
The world's imagination.
I mean, like, come on.
Born
They're in danger if I don't have one, right? Of me being bummed out by not having a gigantic boat.
Italy, nurtured in
They
its
don't want that
post-war
for me.
era by a
I
handful
don't
of
want that for
engineering
me.
geniuses who turned speedboats into a sleek, violent art form. In the Italian boatyards of the 1950s and 60s,
I mean, boats and hoes do go together pretty well, though. Right? I mean, come on. You got a nice boat, there's hoes. Hoes love boats.
It's like Carlo Riva tinkered with hull
It's
designs,
some sort of
marine engines,
magnetism
and hydrodynamics,
or
transforming
something.
the waters off the coast of Sardinia and the Ligurian Sea.
They're a hole in your. They are a hole in the water you throw money into. We're not talking about women anymore. We're talking about boats.
Testing grounds for a new
Hey,
breed
Dan, stop.
of high-speed vessels. These boats were fast.
Silva says pro boat racing and pro bowling went out around the same time. Same 2-year period. It was a sad decade. Didn't professional bowling used to be like a thing where you didn't have to be like at all in shape? Is like being a professional dart player or something. At least in boating, you had to have the money, right? You had to have the fucking money to come up with. These are $1 million boats, right? In bowling, you just have to have a bowling ball. It's the working man's game, which is why it disgusts me.
Beautiful and unforgiving.
These Italian boats are really nice.
Fused
These things are millions of dollars, though.
engineering mastery with the kind of raw performance.
$400 to get your oil changed? What kind of boat? 18-foot Nitro Z? Here, I'm going to look up what kind of boat you have. Because I don't know. I've never owned a boat before.
Could only be appreciated by men willing to risk their lives to push them to the limit. Offshore racing was, from the start, a playground for the wealthy and daring.
Yeah. That's what I would do.
But it wasn't until the sport crossed the Atlantic, landing in the United States, that offshore powerboat racing truly took off.
Sweet.
America, with its vast coastline and boundless appetite for
Okay, pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. I'm gonna say that's pretty sweet. Here, I'm gonna bring it on over. Whoop. There we go. You like the sound effects? Yeah. That's pretty sweet. I would drive that around. Is it fast? I bet it's fast.
spectacle, saw something different in these machines. The country that had made
Background says, do we get this from illegal cigarettes like NASCAR from bootlegging? Well, it does explain the history, but actually cigarette was a brand, but they did smuggle things like Coke, not cigarettes, Coke.
hot rods and drag racing household obsessions.
But they did smuggle things. They were kind of like bootleggers,
love
yeah.
for speed on the open water. By the 1960s, American...
But they started racing, and then people who were smuggling cocaine were like, hey, this is a great way to smuggle cocaine. And so a lot of the race car drivers that were already wealthy started smuggling cocaine just because it was fun. Just because it was, I mean, yeah, they made a shitload of money, but they already had tons of money. They were like professional race boat drivers. I mean, come on. You cannot have a cooler job title than that. You cannot have a cooler job title than, I'm a professional race boat driver. Yeah, that's mine right out there. And it's like a fucking 50-foot gigantic, like, haul ass, dude. It'd be tough not to get laid. It honestly would. It would be hard not to get laid.
Powerboat racers were making a name for themselves, fueled by a growing demand for even faster, bigger boats.
In this race, one boat was quickly singled out.
I was gonna get something small. This is expensive. I don't know how expensive, but more than I'm gonna spend on a boat. Okay, I was just gonna get like a little John boat with an outboard. Not that expensive. Not, this thing. I'm sure it's fun. I'm sure it kicks ass, honestly.
Most likely to succeed. The cigarette, owned and driven by.
So okay to be Christian says, I just got here. How long has John been muted? I'm not muted. I've been completely audible this entire time. Like most of it. Almost the whole thing.
American Don Aronoff.
Don Aronoff.
I did pause to lint roll my shirt because I had dog hair all over my shirt. But besides that, the rest of it was good. The rest of it was fire. We've been talking about boats and hose to a lesser degree, but, you know, hose were included, but mainly boats.
Child of this movement, a brash.
It's my new hyperfixation. And I'm doing all kinds of stuff, and I'm going to get a fucking boat, and you guys are going to call me captain from now on. This is the deal. This is the deal.
Confident racer and boat designer who epitomized the American spirit.
It doesn't matter if you want to or not, because I'll throw you overboard. I'm one of those murdering type of captains. Like, you know, not a pirate per se, but just a murdering kind. I don't steal things, but I murder. Yeah. I was trying to think, like, can I not be? No, it's a pretty hard rule. As a captain, you have certain rights and privileges, and I will marry who I see fit to marry. And even if you're against being married to each other, I will marry you. I can force you into it. These are the laws of the sea. I didn't write them. Look up maritime law. The captain is basically God.
His creations, first through his company, Magnum Marine, and later...
I'm going to marry people against their will. Dan Snot and Rushing, you're married now.
Later with Cigarette and Donzi, redefined the sport.
What?
That's gay.
I know. I'm going to force them into being gay. Yeah. It's one of those boats. It's like the Amistad. Well, they weren't forced to be gay, but they did just go nut to butt. So it's kind of a natural progression. What? Am I weird? Is that weird of me to say? You guys are the one thinking about it.
No, I'm like...
A bunch of nut to butt slaves on the Amistad? Come on.
We're fascinated with cars, anything with speed, I guess.
We are a pirate cult now. Yeah, we are a pirate cult. So jot that down.
Arnau's boats were both deadly and beautiful.
Yarr.
And they quickly...
Honey, do I have any, like, pirate stuff? She got me.
We became coveted possessions, not only by racers, but also by the ultra-wealthy and powerful. If you owned a cigarette, you weren't just rich. You were invincible.
And you were ballsy, too, right? Because those things went fast, and then, like... controlling a boat at speed has got to be hard, especially with all the waves and stuff. Again, I have no experience boating, but I imagine it would be pretty difficult. Hold on, let me get my pirate stuff on.
The sport grew, and with it, so did the state.
I'm waiting for my wife to do it.
By the 1970s, offshore powerboat racing had become a showcase for cutting-edge marine technology, and American races like the Miami...
Despite we've heard it says you get a captain's license and I'll call you captain. How about no? Pirates don't get licenses, dumbass. They're fucking pirates. What do you... What? I'm applying for my pirate's degree? My pirate's license? I said license like I'm a fucking Asian. My pirate's license. It's a pirate's license, all right? You got a bunch of forms you have to fill out. There's like, you know, there's taxes you have to... No, there's nothing like that. I'm just a pirate now, and I'm going to sail around the sea and sing shanties. You know what? I don't know why we're not listening to shanties right now, dude. It's stupid of us not to. Here, you watch this. I'm looking up shanties.
Offshore race.
It's dumb. Why aren't we listening to shanties?
Racing teams with million-dollar budgets competed on the water, each one pushing for higher speeds, more advanced engineering, and greater exposure.
Okay.
But the sport was about more than just speed. It was about who could afford to play. Racing boats that cost more than most houses weren't just a tool for competition. They were a signal of status.
Okay,
the personalities involved were large.
Let's listen to some shanties. This is like Dropkick Murphys type of shit. These aren't shanties. No. That's not the vibe I was looking for. That's not at all the vibe. No. See, shanty. Give me a sea shanty. Give me sea shanties, please. Ah. Much better. Excellent. Now, my pirate cult. I'm glad you're here, and you are here to plunder the seas and bury treasure and something about a poop deck and all of that. This is jam. These aren't hipster. The last one were hipster shanties, right? That was like Irish. You know, I can't even call that these are shanties. Man, shanties have gone downhill, right? Was there ever a time that shanties were cool? I mean, when they could be recorded onto like a record of some sort and then played back. Not just, I know in the 1600s they were probably cool. Because what else did you have? There was a guy playing violin. That was a jammer. Cat, fuck off, dude. Anyways. I wish shanties. I'm going to start listening to a lot more shanties.
All on the salt seas until we strike soundings in the channel of old England. All you Chanticleer.
Dan Stott says, look up Patty Gertie. I'm familiar with Patty Gertie. I mean, sure, why not? She does good music, and it slaps. Some of it's pretty good. I would love to get a hurdy-gurdy, which is the instrument she plays. It's a banger. If you haven't heard of her, here, I'll switch it on to her. They sound different on the open ocean. I bet they do. And remember, hammer drunk. Rum was the water. What are the chances her last name is also Gertie? I don't even know if I'd be able to tune it. Do I have an iPad or something? Okay. Oh, the spy is there's pirate stuff in this house. Don't tell me there's not pirate stuff in this house. God. It's ridiculous.
Don't tell anyone that this night I'll be gone.
This bite says. Also, they sound different when you can smell the ocean air. That's true. I can smell the ocean air. 'Tis not far. My blood alcohol is way too low to be a pirate, but just imagine. Sit there and imagine with me that I'm hammered. And I'm slurring, and I'm saying some pretty embarrassing things. And a little too personal, if you know what I mean. And we're listening to this. And it's dark. Because it's like the 1600s. They don't have, they have candles. But like nothing good. No one's on their phone. Can you believe that? Just living in the moment. Fucking perfect. Oh, fuck yeah. Yo. Anyways, we will be the mightiest, the most feared pirate crew in all the seven seas. Yar. And it'll be a good time. You know, we'll get a bunch of gold and booty and just become the best of friends. You know? The best of friends. It's hard because I'm only using one eye. Yeah. Bring it. Bring it Bring it on over. There we go. I told you we had pirate shit. Of course. Yar. I do have a shirt too. That's like more of a blouse. Shut up. And it's very piratey. So if she digs that up, then we're going full pirate. I don't even know why, because this documentary takes place in the 80s. So yeah.
Larger than life. Men like
So
Aronal,
yeah.
who
Why
navigated
not?
through a world of opulence, danger, and scandal.
We're not swabbing the poop deck. We're not doing anything like that.
As offshore racing gained
I'm going to keep
attention,
this on though.
it also attracted a dark undercurrent of criminal activity. By the late 1970s,
Art and Sharon says, yo ho, nigga. There was no black pirates. Weirdly enough, there was segregated pirate ships. Yeah. I mean, there was, yeah. I assume.
and into the cocaine
I don't know.
1980s.
I don't know shit about pirates. I was never a pirate or a privateer or whatever they want to call them. But I would have been. I would have been a good one. I would have been dead by now, I'm sure, though. Because, I don't know, shot with a cannonball, which is a pretty epic way to go out. Yeah, that's a pretty epic way to go out. If I got like a splinter or something like that, or I stepped on like a caltrops and then I got a really bad infection, that would suck. That would be a lame way to go out. But if I just got a cannonball to the chest and I just exploded and like my arms went all in like the legs and stuff, yeah, that's cool. I would go that way.
80s.
That's
The boat
anybody. If I'm to be executed, I want it to be done by cannon. Close range, preferably directly to the chest. And if I should survive, then I'm free to go. Is that a deal? I think that's a deal.
that were built
I think
for
that's a
racing
deal.
found another, more sinister use.
My secret is I'll wear a lead plate. And when it hits me, I'll probably still explode.
Smuggling.
Just explode.
Miami became the epicenter of this transformation. The boats
Yeah, there are Somali pirates, but there's no white people on that pirate boat. It's not like a mixed international crew. This isn't like the Star Trek Enterprise, only stealing stuff. Because that would be funny.
that could race across open waters at breakneck speeds were ideal for transporting cocaine from
The Spite says, if I steal my father-in-law's boat, I can get maybe 10 to 12 people on comfortably. 8 would be better. It has sleeping cabin, and I think it gets satellite TV. Why doesn't it have Starlink? Why doesn't it have Starlink? You should. The boat should have Starlink. Starlink is a technology that we have. Get Starlink. You can have internet on your boat. Yeah. And then sail it right on over, and I'll hop on. Well, I'll take control, obviously.
Caribbean to the U.S. mainland.
It's my boat
And
at that
so,
point.
the sport became entwined with the Miami drug trade, with racers often doubling as smugglers.
NNN says, I feel like the Portuguese had Nogs on board. Possibly. I'm not aware. I don't trust the Portuguese.
The same men who were celebrated on the water were also ferrying massive loads of narcotics, turning a blind eye to the law.
Yep.
At the heart of this dark chapter in the sport's history were two men, Sal Magluta and Ben Kramer. Magluta, alongside his partner Willie Falcon, ran one of the largest cocaine trafficking organizations in Miami. But Magluta didn't just...
Did stop. John, you're still in the last video. I totally didn't even realize that.
smuggle drugs. He was a decorated offshore powerboat racer, a man who dominated the sport both legally and
hard.
illegally.
That's hard on my
With
eyes.
vast sums of drug money, Magluta sponsored his own team, building boats that were the envy of the
Anyways.
racing world. His winnings in the sport were matched only by the
NNN says you shouldn't trust the Portuguese. Very shifty people. Don't trust the Portuguese. You never trust a porch. I call them porch monkeys or something like that.
millions he earned in the drug trade, making him untouchable for
Or is that
years.
something else? I'm
His
sure that's
boats were
something else.
symbols of speed, success, and secrecy, part of an empire that stretched from the Miami docks to the jungles of Colombia. Magluta's fall from grace in the 1990s was spectacular, a public unraveling of
sweet.
both his racing career and his drug empire.
Here's the US 1 Apache out of North Miami Beach, Florida, Ben Kramer. He's got to be one of the boats favored in this race coming in. A strong competitor all the way. That's Apache. And Dick, if you notice, these boys in this particular...
How many horsepower do these things have? How much does it cost to upkeep these things? This is the 80s, so the money's... It's different. It's actually worth something. So, I don't know. This might have been $1 million in the 80s, but today it would be like $10 million, probably more. Yeah, it sucks.
The boat are not sitting down. They're standing up. They're absorbing the waves, the rough water here today by just bending their knees slightly. Actually, at this point, Jim, it doesn't...
And then how did they get caught? It's the perfect crime. Ripping across the ocean in a boat like this, and I mean, you're expected not to be noticed. You probably do get noticed, right? You probably do get noticed, but like other boats that are chasing you, they ain't gonna catch you. They're just not gonna catch you. But I mean, a helicopter can catch you.
It
So
looks like it's a particularly rough ride for this boat. It's cutting right through the waves, and they're not really fighting the waves. At this
I don't know.
Ben Kramer's story is eerily similar. A fellow racer and drug smuggler, Kramer was a powerhouse on the water. His boats were meticulously designed, not just for speed, but for smuggling runs.
Pretty cool.
Kramer's wealth and connections in the Miami underworld enabled him to dominate the offshore racing scene for years. But his career, too, was cut short when federal agents arrested him in 1987.
Damn.
Despite its criminal...
Damn. He probably had $100 million worth of coke on that thing. Damn, though, right? You're making cash. You get 1% of the profit off of that, right? You're making $1 million run. I don't know. That kind of sounds worth it. You're in the middle of the night. You're leaving Cuba or wherever, and then you're smashing 90 miles to Florida. And if you make that without being noticed, without getting caught, you're going to make $1 million. What's that take? 2 hours? Less? An hour? Perhaps? I mean, these things go pretty fast. Damn. That would be enticing. That would be tough to catch, too.
Associations, offshore powerboat racing reached new heights in the 1980s. The sport was a magnet for celebrities, and none shone brighter than Don Johnson. His role on Miami Vice had made him the quintessential 1980s action star, and his involvement in offshore racing brought Hollywood's glamorous sheen to the sport. Johnson wasn't just a figurehead.
Why does it take 3 people? I don't know. That's a good question. You think the less weight, the better. But, I mean, there's a navigator and then there's an engineer. That would be my guess. Like, there's a pilot, there's a navigator, and then there's an engineer. I know when they do rally cars, they have 2 people, and one person is specifically to navigate. And just, like, tell people to turn right and turn left and stuff. And go fast here and slow down here. Which I could see that being necessary, but... I mean, you can't just have that on the radio. I don't know. I've never done this before.
He was
I'm a pirate. I don't know if you know that piracy is my game. Yar. Piracy is what I do.
Racer, winning championships and earning respect
Not
from
racing.
competitors.
But I should
His presence
race.
brought offshore racing into the limelight with media coverage that hadn't
And
been
then it
seen
says Don
before.
Johnson had a cousin, Rick
Chuck
Penis.
Norris, Kurt Russell,
That's
and
not
other
true.
celebrities soon followed.
Don't spread lies.
Making the sport feel like a high-speed extension of Hollywood's most exclusive circles.
Despite says I always wanted to be a rally car driver. My great grandmother used to race Bugattis. Like, you know, it was like the early 1900s. It was those like slender Bugattis, the silver ones. You know what I'm talking about? The wheels on the open wheel Bugattis, right? Anyways, I've always wanted to race things. But I am way too big. I'm way too heavy to race things. And like to be good at like any kind of motor racing or any racing at all, you kind of have to be small. Have you ever seen like a jockey? A jockey is a perfect example. You need to be tiny. Jeff Gordon is this tall. He's not a very tall guy. He's small. He's lightweight. I don't have that. I don't have that. I grew out of it. Maybe if I was a little kid, but no, too heavy, unfortunately. So that destroyed my dreams of being a race car driver. Maybe one day I'll get my legs amputated, but even then, I'd probably still be too heavy.
Donald Trump, never one to miss an opportunity for
F1 drivers
exposure,
can't gain
also
weight. No,
joined
they
the
can't.
offshore racing scene.
And F1 drivers make so much money. Like, the top F1 drivers make enormous sums of money. You don't even understand. Like, football players over here and, like, baseball players, yeah, they make a lot of money. F1 drivers, the top F1 drivers make a shitload of money, dude. But we don't. I mean, Americans don't watch F1, so we don't really care. I don't know why. It's actually pretty fun to watch. I think it's more fun than NASCAR to watch, but whatever.
Using his brand and business ventures to sponsor races and boats. His name became synonymous with high-stakes racing, further cementing the sport's reputation as a pursuit for the ultra-wealthy. The sports association with celebrities and moguls attracted major sponsors. Companies like Marlboro and Budweiser, keen to be associated.
See, good. I mean, like, Marlboro and Budweiser, that was your Saturday night back then. Now Budweiser's all gay, and, like, that's not cool. So, but Marlboro is still cool. They kill cowboys, and they don't get a bad rap like Bud Light does. I'm not saying Budweiser doesn't deserve their rap, because they absolutely do. But, yeah. I will never drink Budweiser. Not because it's gay, but it's piss water. That's why. It's disgusting piss water. And the second it touches my lips, I'm like, ew. This is nasty. Bring me like a Stella or something. Stellas are good. Budweisers are not.
Associated with the sport's mix of danger, glamour, and
Joe
power.
Camel did kill it.
Poured millions into sponsorships.
He was adorable. An adorable mascot.
Turning races into high-profile televised events.
Hog Dog says Joe Camel made kids want to smoke. It made adults want to smoke, right? That's the whole point of Joe Camel. It made everybody want to smoke because you want to hang out with that cool-ass camel in the pool hall and shit, right? He probably does bumps of coke in the bathroom, or maybe just right there off of his hand, like, right? He's that kind of guy. Joe Camel fucks. Joe Camel
The
fucks,
biggest
dude.
races became global spectacles.
He humps. Thank you.
With events like the Cows Torquay and the Key West.
Rushing Matt says I only drank White Claws. I had a big White Claw phase a few years back where I was just like, yeah, I would drink like a bunch. Yeah, I still drink White Claw. But I don't know. Seems like why not just drink liquor? I'll just drink liquor. If I drink liquor, it'll get me drunk, which is the desired effect. I'm not drinking White Claws to enjoy the taste of White Claws. So I'll just drink liquor. And there you go. I'm right there. And I drink gin too. Like a psychopath. You ever meet somebody who drinks gin? Fucking crazy. I drink gin. Hang out with people who like drink whiskey. They seem pretty chill. Or not people who drink vodka. They usually have herpes. Gin, I mean, that's a certain type of drunk. That's I'm sad and I want to be sadder. That's that kind of drunk.
World Championship drawing crowds and cameras from around the world.
Dan Stott says, my dad drinks gin. Fucking awesome. And you're here. That's why. Right? That's why you're here, because your dad drinks gin. It happened to me, too. I have kids, too.
Offshore power.
Damn you, gin! Or
boat
thank you,
racing is
gin.
a thrilling sport that has seen numerous legends rise to fame, characterized by a unique blend of daring, resilience, and
Hog Dog says tank and tonic will fuck your face. Yeah. Of course. Of course. And I'll drink I'll have 4 double gin and tonics. And then my wife used to go to the bartender and be like, can you give him singles? He's going to ask for doubles, but give him singles. And then they would do that. And I'd be like, hey, there's not enough alcohol in this. right? I would be very drunk. And then I'd take one sip and then I'd sober right up and I'd be like, I actually asked for a double. I swear, I just have like one moment of cognition. I'd be like, you, yeah, just go ahead. Yeah.
Innovation.
My wife's, oh man.
These racers
Pretty good.
are not just competitors. They are pioneers.
What is black gin? What is black gin? Black gin, I'll look it up.
Constantly pushing the limits of technology and speed while navigating the unpredictable waters of the ocean. Traits like courage, determination, and an unyielding spirit define their journeys, often reflected in their remarkable achievements.
But they call it black gin? How is it different? Is it different in any way? I don't know. I don't care.
Betty Cook was a trailblazing figure in offshore powerboat racing.
And then it says, even drunk, you knew something was afoot. Of course. I got to be on the lookout. People might want to put their date rape drugs in my into my drinks. And then, I don't know. If they want to be raped, they could just ask. You know. You don't have to drug me to do it.
All the drivers, both male and female, the best is Californian Betty Cook, a petite, likable, 58-year-old grandmother of 3. She drives the 10,000-pound, 1,400-horsepower Michelob Light boat, replacing a driver who was killed in a race earlier this year.
52? 52-year-old woman? There's a 52-year-old woman. She's like, I'm going to be a race boat driver. And then a 1,400 horsepower boat. She must have been very skilled. I assume. Why would you let her drive?
Because of the challenge, and it's a lot of challenges. It's an intellectual challenge, it's a physical challenge, it's a technical challenge, it's a team working together.
Known for her record-breaking achievements and status as one of the sport's most successful competitors. She began racing in 1974 at age 52, making her debut with a second-hand boat called Mongoose. She quickly gained acclaim, going on to win 2 UIM World Championships, 1977 and 1979, and 3 APBA National Championships.
Damn, Granny!
1978, 1979, 1981.
Granny, get
Notably,
ripped!
she became the first woman to win a world championship in offshore powerboat racing in 1977, a significant milestone in a male-dominated sport.
Okay, that's very a grandmother, and she's all like, I'm gonna start being a race boat driver at 52, and then what do? You just lean on the throttle until you get there. I guess that she's just covered in titles and stuff like that. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie.
Cook's success continued as she took on ambitious courses, including the 580-mile race down the Gulf of California, which she completed in 12 hours and 45 minutes, averaging over 50 miles per hour. She often raced in her 38-foot Scarab Kama, which became famous in the powerboating community. Cook was inducted into the APBA Hall of Champions multiple times.
And then it says this isn't going to end well, is it? Is it? Well, yeah, okay. So a successful female driver, and you're all like, okay, she's going to crash, and then she's going to be at the bottom of the sea, isn't she? I can see why you would say that, because I, too, am like a misogynist. I'm not even sarcastic. Yes, I am one of those. I tell people every day. Like when I'm at the checkout line at the grocery store, I'll be like, yes, I'm next. I'm a misogynist. Please do it right. Please do your job right. And they scowl at me. Boop. 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 Just pissed.
The Motorsports Hall of Fame of America in 1996, cementing her legacy as a pioneer for women in the sport.
It's okay to be Christian. Says we invented boats to get away from women. Sad. That's actually that's a good point, right? Because women don't swim, right? Women can't swim. Can women swim? Yeah, I think they can swim. I've seen women swim. Yeah, I've seen them do it.
Retired from racing in 1982.
It's like a bird.
And passed away in 1990 at the age of 67.
Background noise says it's pattern recognition and not misogyny. Well, I just assumed since everyone was calling me a misogynist, then I must be one. So, yeah. No one ever said I was being unfair. They've called me a misogynist, they've called me sexist and racist, but no one once has ever called me unfair. Not once have I been called
has held
unfair.
the speed record in every twin-engine V-bottom category for over 2 decades. Fountain has dominated race courses in all types of water conditions all around the world. 8 times in the last 15 years, Fountain boats have broken their own V-bottom speed record.
It's okay to be Christian says we shouldn't teach women how to read or swim. We can teach them how to swim. That's important because they'll wander into ponds and stuff. I've seen them do that too. I saw one chick walk into a sliding glass door at full speed. Just go dung. Full speed. Didn't even like break. Didn't break rhythm. Just dunk. I think I almost lost my composure, dude. I mean, I was laughing, but I thought I was going to throw up. It was really funny.
In their last attempt, Fountain shattered the SBI APBA UIM V-bottom speed record at a blistering 170.
They just wander. They just wander around and stuff. You got to keep them out of traffic and stuff. It can be annoying, but it's kind of cute how helpless they are, especially when they're lost, right? You know what's funny about women is they're constantly afraid. They're constantly afraid of everything. They're constant. Like if it's dark outside, they can't walk into the darkness. I'm a full-grown man. I can walk into the darkness of the woods, and I know I'll be fine. There's nothing out there that I can't take, right? Women aren't like that. They're constantly afraid. They're constantly cold. It sounds miserable. Honestly, it sounds really, really like a bummer. But it's just funny because they're constantly afraid of everything. And I like to take advantage of that by scaring my wife. Giving her like PTSD and stuff. Yeah.
1.883 miles per hour with an amazing one-way pass of 107.
And then it says pools are required to have fences because of wayward bitches falling in. That's true, right? Remember a story of a toddler actually jumping in after a full-grown woman to save her. Hero toddler. Of course it was a boy.
27.35 miles per hour.
You had to punch her because she was panicking in the water, right? That's what you do. If you ever try to save somebody from drowning, which I don't recommend doing because you kind of have to know how to do it. When you swim close to them, they'll try to dunk you. They'll grab onto you and push you down because they're panicking and they want air. So they'll actively push you down. So if they do that, what you got to do is you got to kick off of them with your legs. If they won't calm down, you have to punch them. Like really hard. Like very, very hard. If it saves their life, it saves their life. Otherwise, they're just going to die. So, yeah. Always have like a mallet or something if you go out to save someone from drowning. But before you do that, make sure they're drowning. Don't just go and fucking like whack-a-mole people popping up, because that'll be an issue. A lot of blood. And then you get sharks.
Reggie
That's how
Fountain
you
is
get
a
sharks.
key figure in offshore powerboat racing and the
Don't just go whacking people on the head.
founder of Fountain Powerboats, a well-known name in high-performance boating. His journey in powerboating
Despite it says my wife is constantly screaming because I walked by when she wasn't expecting. Look here. Yeah, I live here. I'm sometimes I walk around and she's like, "Hey, scared." They're constantly afraid. It's amazing how afraid they are all the time. All the time. This is why you shouldn't let them vote too, because they constantly vote based on fear. But also based on emotion. So if I get my way, if I ever become supreme leader or whatever that is. Well, first, no, voting will not be a thing. But women don't get a vote. None of them. I don't care. You've been working in politics for like 60 years. Get out. Go knit a blanket or something. Bake a pie. We can handle this. You're not helping. You're not helping. I don't care. Yeah, Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, you've been in politics for decades. You haven't helped any. You haven't. In fact, you made things a lot worse. You've made things much worse. So no women. No women in politics. Why would you even want to be in politics? Politics is a garbage business where it's like, yeah, it's scum and villainy and everyone's fighting over how to spend someone else's money. It's a stupid occupation. But whatever. I'm not going to say we need politicians because I know that is a fact. We don't need politicians. They just want to be politicians and people kind of don't care.
Started with a strong love for speed, cultivated from a young age on North Carolina's Tar River. Fountain became a factory racer for Mercury Marine in the 1960s, part of the high-profile Black Angels team alongside racing legends like Bill Seabold and Earl Bentz. Known for his relentless pursuit of speed and performance, he began designing boats that pushed the...
Rushing says, I'm so glad I'm single. Women are horrible. Paddleboarding is gay, especially with a fucking dog. Okay, that's in response to something else, but... You do you, Matt. You do you. I understand. They're a lot of work. Women are a lot of work. I'm constantly walking around fixing mistakes and like problems and like making sure things are okay. I'm constantly doing that. Constantly picking up things that they left or like putting away bikes or making things are taken care of. That's my job, dude. That's like what I do is make sure that things are okay and everything is fine.
Boundaries of traditional offshore racing, and Fountain Powerboat soon emerged as a major brand in the industry, with its boats achieving high speeds and stability even in challenging conditions.
So Matt is not a fan of paddleboarding, but he is a fan of kayaking. I feel like that's like, so what? It's sitting down on a paddleboard? How is that much different? That doesn't seem like much of a difference. Doesn't really seem like much of a difference at all.
I work 16, 17 hours a day. Business comes number one.
Benihana, dude. Or, it is something. Rocky Aoki is his name. He's Steve Aoki's dad. If you know who Steve Aoki is, he's like he does like electronic music, but he made Benihana. He created Benihana, and he was also like a badass. I'll find a documentary on Rocky Aoki because he's like a BAMF, dude.
And health comes number 2, and family comes number 3.
Rocky Aoki, founder of the Benihana restaurant chain, was also an avid off...
That's not Frozen. Rocky Aoki is a badass. That's not Frozen. No. Frozen wishes he was Rocky Aoki. The only reason I don't wish I was Rocky Aoki is because I don't want to be Asian. But like this guy, he's pretty cool.
Powerboat racer with a notable racing career in the late 1970s and early 1980s. He began racing in the 1970s and achieved multiple wins, including twice claiming victory at the Benihana Grand Prix.
It was his race. He made it, and he won it.
Race he established in Point Pleasant, New Jersey.
Yeah, I'm starting this race, and I won this race. I started this race just to flex on all of you how fast my boat was, which is pretty badass. Come on, you can't even say that's not badass. Forgot I had my eye patch. Yarr.
In 1975, to promote the sport and his brand.
Tejas says powerboat racing just helps cover cocaine trafficking. You just got here, didn't you? Tejas? Yeah, we covered that. We covered the whole thing. They were smuggling coke. They made millions of dollars. They bought badass boats and raced them. It was pretty sweet.
His racing career,
I'm a pirate,
however,
by the way.
Marked by
you haven't even mentioned that I'm a pirate. Not even brought it up. Be like, hey, nice pirate gig. Hey, thanks, Tejas. Thank you.
Series of accidents.
Thank you for noticing.
Including
finally.
a near fatal crash in 1979 under the Golden Gate Bridge. which led to severe injuries and a blood transfusion that reportedly resulted in him contracting hepatitis C.
Don't get blood
Despite this,
transfusions.
Aoki continued racing until another accident in 1982 led him to retire from the sport.
A terrible crash occurred, and Bob Kaiser stopped racing, turned his boat around, and focused his attention on saving his fellow racers' lives.
Cool.
Bobby Kaiser, Excalibur, Dalia, they've all stopped. See the pace boats out here trying to help. The guys are out of the boat. They seem to be all right.
Because I've lost about 3 friends, and I think we've had 13 or 14 casualties here in the last 3 or 4 years.
Bob Kaiser sitting on the stern. Errol Lanier is in the water. It appears from here they're changing a propeller. A very difficult job, but they'll have to do it if they're to continue in this race.
Bob Kaiser might be having trouble on the race course, but all is not lost. He lives a very varied life. 33 years of age from Grosse Pointe, Michigan. He plays hard and...
Fuck this guy. 33 he's much, I mean, not much younger. I'm 37, but like he's quite a bit younger than me, and he's living a much better life. That's the 80s for you, though. That was the 80s. It was, right? It's not like today. I mean, yeah, there's younger, I mean, No, yeah, that's the 80s, bro. The 80s just kicked ass. Money was easy to come by. You could make money doing basically anything you wanted. And if you did something like smuggling coke, which was easy, you would make shitloads of money and have mansions and stuff. And no one would ask any questions. Yeah, man, I was born in the 80s, but I didn't get to live in the 80s.
And he works hard. His company manufactures a paint finishing system.
Hog Dog says Boats and Hose 80s edition. I know. And that's like the best edition. It's the best edition.
Which is used in the automotive industry. He takes boat racing very seriously, and endurance is a major factor. He's willing to pay the price.
In any kind of motorsports...
Arden Shire says you could be reasonably successful as a fuck up in the 80s. Look at Married with Children. Al Bundy sold shoes badly. He didn't even own the store. He just sold the shoes badly, right? He would call every customer that came in there a cow, right? He'd be, the lady would be like, I can't believe you'd say that to my face. And he'd be like, well, I'd say it to your backside, but I only have half a tank of gas. Great show. Great show. He had a wife, 2 kids, a 2-story house in the Chicago burbs. He was doing okay. Probably $1 million house by now.
There's a lot of endurance involved. It's very hot inside the enclosed canopies, so you have to be in good shape. And I always felt that if the stronger...
Rushing Matt says nowadays 33-year-olds are still living with their parents. Yeah. Yeah. 40-year-olds are living with their parents, dude. Yeah.
I was, the better off I was in rough water.
Despite says that was a TV show, John. It's not real. I know it's a TV show. The point is they painted a picture of the quintessential loser, and that quintessential loser of the 80s would absolutely stomp on anybody of his same age in the 2025. Absolutely stomp. Just because he had all this shit, he had basically the perfect life. All he had to do was call fat women fat. I do that for free. On a daily basis. I go on Twitter. I'm like, you're fat. Ha ha ha. No one pays me to do that. That's out of the goodness of my soul. Because I care about those women. And I want to see them make themselves better. And the only way I can do that is to belittle them. Right? Because nothing else is making them little. Stop eating so much. God.
88, Key West, Florida, in the world.
How hard is it to lose weight? Just starve yourself. Starve yourself for like 2 months, and then boom, you don't have a weight problem anymore. Well, you might still have a weight problem, but it's like you're too thin. But that's a good problem to have.
Offshore racing champion.
Especially if you're big fatso. It can't fit in women's feet shoes. I'm just saying Al Bundy was the man. They try to be like, he's a loser. He's a loser. Not a loser. What's her name? Peg was hot. Peg was a babe. Right? And look, he had a daughter that was Kelly Bundy. There's good genes there. There's good genes. Yeah, sure, David Faustino was also one of them, but he was young. Maybe he would grow up into something. He didn't. He always remained ugly. But Kelly Bundy. Nice.
It's Bob.
Oh, she got fat, too. Christina Applegate, she got fat, dude. Shame.
Kaiser against the world.
Hog Dog says died in 97. David Faustino? David Faustino did not die in 1997. No, he did not. Don't play this game with me.
After a slow start in the blue waters off Key West, Kaiser and Lanier light up the waters as they put the hammer down and begin to reel in the leaders, knocking them off one by one. This top gun and former world and national champion pushes the envelope in an effort to win yet another world champion.
Not dead.
Bob Kaiser is a celebrated figure in offshore powerboat racing.
Not dead.
Known for his remarkable achievements and contributions to the sport.
Why would you scare me like that?
His racing.
Why would you scare me like that? Why would you do that? I was like, my heart sunk. I was like, David Faustino's dead? No, I don't care. Died in 97. Not my biggins. No, my grandpa did. I'm sorry. I'm sorry your grandpa died damn near 30 years ago. 20 years ago. A long ass time ago. I mean, 30 years, something like that. I don't know. I can't math. I'm a pirate. All right? If I was a calculator, I wouldn't be doing pirate stuff.
Career took off in 1984, where he quickly distinguished himself as both a national and world.
Background noise that is not respectful. He says he died trying to suck his own dick. I doubt that. Okay, look. You come up in the 80s and like you live good. You're paying somebody to suck your dick. You're not trying to suck your own dick. If you live through the 80s as a man, you have the money to get your dick sucked. It's come on. Times were good back then. All right. Only modern day like zillennials and millennials have to suck their own dicks because ain't nobody doing it for them. Most people. Yeah, most people. It's sad. That's sad, right? I guess you could look on the bright side and be like, people are becoming more limber, but
world champion, ultimately setting world speed records and being inducted into the.
Selva says Faustino did gay porn after Married with Children. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Did he really? Ew. Who would watch David Faustino? Ew. Now I hope he's dead.
Offshore Powerboat Hall of Fame. Kaiser is especially remembered for his performance in iconic competitions like the 1997 Offshore World Championships in Key West, Florida, where he competed in a 40-foot Cougar catamaran.
Hot Dog says he may as well be dead. I don't even know if Comic-Con gives a shit. Why would Comic-Con give a shit about David Faustino? Oh, the guy from Married with Children? Like he's going to have a booth and he's going to sign autographs? Would you get an autograph from David Faustino? What would I would throw, what am I going to get signed by David Faustino? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I don't even know any other role he was in besides Married with Children. I'm surprised I remember the guy's name. What has he done besides gay porn and Married with Children? Nothing. No, why would anybody at Comic-Con give a shit? They wouldn't even know. David Faustino could walk into Comic-Con, not in like costume or nothing, just as David Faustino, and nobody would know. Nobody would know. Nobody would ever know. He could move silently amongst the crowd. No one would ever be like, hey, you're Bud Bundy. I'm sure he loves it when people actually say that, but it never happens. He's probably homeless, living on Skid Row, shooting up dirty puddle water into his arm just for the sensation because he can't afford fentanyl anymore.
His commitment to the sport continued until his retirement.
Got real dark for David.
In 1998, capping off a 14-year career filled with high-speed thrills and numerous victories.
That was a stuff. A mini stuff, but a stuff.
Like a true champion, Kaiser gave the competition a run for...
We hate David Faustino now, right? Yar.
Their money, although today would not be his day. He will be back.
We went out hard, tried to separate ourselves from the rest of the pack, and we were running with maybe the top.
Arden Shire has a good question. Silvis, how do you know that? How do you know that David Faustino did gay porn? No, let's not call him gay, dude, because maybe he just heard it somewhere. I doubt he was like flipping through the gay porn channels, and he was all like, is that fucking David Faustino? And he's got like, that is! And it's just David Faustino's ass on the screen. I doubt he did that. I doubt he did that. He wasn't watching the credits after a porn film. Do you think anybody does that? Do you think anybody watches the credits, like sits for the credits? Like after they blow their load, they're sitting there and like, well, you got to give credit to the people that worked on the movie, and they sit through the fucking credits. David Faustino? What? What? I thought he was dead. Oh my God. I got to tell Twitter about this. I got to tell Sulk about this. It's Silvis. He's sitting in the porn theater right now listening to me. Right? And everyone's all like, turn that off. We're trying to bait. You do you, Silvis. No judgment here. This is an anti-judgment stream. I don't know if you've noticed, but we're strictly racist and sexist. We're homophobic too. And Islamophobic and... Oh yeah, we hate cats too.
3 or 4 boats. As we
Thanks, Kitty. Thanks for chiming in.
And the Sand Key, conditions were a little bit rougher. We hit a sort of a freak large wave that the boat launched off of.
All right, what'd you send me? All right, hold on. Oh my God. David Faustino made a song. He was a musician. Gotta hear this. I told you, D. Lil Ode is his name, I guess.
Here I come. Straight down to business, now you know I just begun. I come with peace, I come with knowledge, not the gun. And when it comes to trouble with my mind, I overcome the chaos and confusion, cause you know I'm not the one. And when it comes to respect, yeah, give me some. So you wick-wack,
he ain't bad.
Get back, I got the funky style, and you know you can't get with that. I got more flavor than the Parketti Kit Kat. And when it comes to kitty cats, I gotta have the chitty hat. You're going insane, every cell in your brain. If you think I use my fame to try and gain a name. So what up, wake up, pinch yourself, I folded you, fool, I told you.
Okay, I don't hate it. I honestly don't hate David Faustino as a rapper. It's not the worst thing I've ever... I mean, his rhymes ain't whack. And, like, I can hear it. I'm into it. It's Okay to Be Christian says this song is gay. It is David Faustino. Come on, you have to give it... It's going to be gay, dude. It's going to be a little gay. I'm sitting here with a pirate theme going. Why? I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm as dope as can be. I'm the high-D-A-G-E, no matter what it be. I'm kicking a funky style with my R-H-Y-M-E. So come on, y'all, and see me. Not on a deli.
He still looks like a young boy. Still a young boy.
As Grandmaster B, or even Bud Bunny, but that's the funky harmonica flow, and that's the way it has to be. Now, bring it back, I got that fool. Oh, I don't want to hear you, boy. You think I'm not capable? Well, come in and your face I'll pull the pieces and pieces and pieces and quit. But Dewey, fellas think very hard, very deeply, Dewey. Wanna get that pussy cat. Meow, 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 meow.
You ain't... Okay, now I don't. Now I hate it. Now I hate it.
How's that? So, tune into the station. What's my
Tall ass bitches. David Faustino's not very tall, but now I hate this song. Now I hate this song. You ain't getting laid, David. In overalls, yeah. Well, it was the style at the time.
Don't pretend to be a little sucker, knocker back up, but you don't understand what I am saying. You think that I am playing, but on the other hand, you know I'm in demand. So why don't you take a stand? You just fold it. I told you.
What did you tell me? What is this song about? Is it about getting laid and being cool? Is it? Because you're not. You're not that. You're not, David. The Eminem of cum. Coming him. Coming him. Yep. He is not very tall. Let me see how tall he is.
Now I'll break it down for the ladies. You know you drive me so crazy. You make my mind go wild. And when I think about you, I can't help but smile. But you still can't fade me. You're poopy doopy slavey. I don't want no groupie hoochie who only wants my gravy. So step back off me, cause I'm not softy. Girl, you know I love you, but you're killing me softly. Psych, right? Like you thought I was serious.
What is this song about?
Remember, curiosity killed the kitty cat.
Stop he's still referencing cats. He's 5'2". 5'2". Oh, excuse me, 5'2.5". He's getting that kitty. 5'2".
Sorry, I gotta tell it so rough. But when you're in the industry, you go through this stuff. I'm telling it now. To the groupies, I'll fold you. Remember these words. I told you. Ah, yes, I told
Wow, that was so bad. That was really, really bad. I can't believe we watched the whole thing.
And then stuffed into an even bigger wave, and the boat ran maybe 100 feet underwater. And in that incident, Mark's life was lost.
That sucks.
Mark and Chris Levine were standout figures in offshore powerboat racing during the mid-1980s, achieving impressive milestones that cemented their legacy. In 1984, they claimed the title of USA National Champions and set a world speed record of 101.3 miles per hour. Their skills and synergy as a team led them to further success, securing the 1985 World Championship in Class 2.
Hold on, I'm just trying to...
Mark Levine lost his life in an accident at the Key West World Championship in 1986.
Did I watch this?
This incident marked a significant moment in offshore racing, drawing attention to the sport's dangers and prompting safety advancements. Chris continued racing in honor of his brother, contributing to the sport's evolution and pushing for improvements in raceboat safety design.
She must have.
Mark was an innovator in offshore safety design.
Okay. Mark. All right. Well, that's boats. I found something in the chat that I'm going to watch. Which is weird. It says, okay, first of all, you have to look in the description. The first thing in the description, it says, "You're not alone, 988 suicide crisis lifeline." The furry fetish you've never heard of. Okay, we got to watch it now. Why is the suicide hotline in there? It's about furry fetish stuff.
Furry nightmare fuel.
Okay.
You know it when you see it.
Sure,
and
why
if
not?
you grew up online, you've probably seen a furry Photoshop masterpiece that radicalized you. But where exactly do these images come from? Who's making them? And more importantly, who are the people in...
This is bad. That's terrible. It's not
into this. It turns out there's a fine line between furry art and body horror. And when you cross that line, you enter an obscure internet community where the boundaries between flesh, fursuit, and fetish don't matter. This is a deep dive into botched fursuits and body horror gone sexy. This is...
Yes, please continue.
Bad Art History. Part 1. Furry Nightmare Fuel. The internet operates much like a freak show.
What do you guys say about her? She's got bangs, that means she hates men. And she's the way too much eyeliner. And those lips look terrible. And yeah, she got the tats over here. What would you guys say? What would you guys give her a number? I know some of you would. I know a lot of you would. Because I know you people. I've seen you people. I've seen you people in real life.
We are morbidly obsessed with creating mythology around our freaks, in every sense of the word. So when a video of a furry dolphin homunculus man began circulating online in 2008 with virtually no explanation, it tapped into humanity's oldest instinct.
To fuck dolphins.
Being mean to furries on the internet.
Oh, right. That was number 2.
So where did this thing come from? This is where our rabbit hole begins. On March 24th, 2007, the Canadian art team North Fur, specializing in making...
Hog Dog says a chick that willingly fucks you is a red flag. Red flags are good, though. I don't know what the thing against red flags is. Like, red flags means she's a lot of fun. Right? Yeah, crazy, but that can be pretty fun. Crazy. Who doesn't like crazy chicks? Who doesn't like a crazy one? They're fun. They're challenging in a certain way. They will destroy your life, but they're fun.
Making animal-themed face prosthetics had recently finished up their latest practice piece, a hyper-realistic...
Rushing Matt says she looks like herpes. I'd rather jerk off in the shower. Well, I can understand that.
Dolphin muzzle. They took a few pictures, uploaded them to DeviantArt, and the whole thing...
Yeah, she's not great. I mean, she looks like her farts stink. I know girl farts stink a lot, but hers, they're like meaty. Like big farts.
Flew under the radar. But a few months later, the dolphin man inexplicably...
Lastea says crazy chicks need sex too, but they can't come to the house. Well... that's they're gonna want to come to the house, right? And you let them come to the house. You have to let it happen. You just have to open up your life, and yeah, they're gonna stomp all over it, and it's gonna be fun. Life is about experiences, Tejas. Oh, look at you! You're so safe. Oh, Mister, I always wear a condom. Roll the dice.
Be a man on a furry image board, and someone thought it would be funny if they reposted him to the furry porn website.
So he says, "Have a second house." Then, am I just gonna have a? Yeah, this is my hoe pad. Yeah, I just bring random bitches here, and then I fuck them, and then I leave, and then I go to my real house where I don't let them know, right? And yep, that's my hoe pad. That's where I bring the hose.
E621. And that was the beginning of the end. Users immediately spammed the dolphin man with downvotes, called him nightmare fuel, and one person even complained the image was so distressing it was making him violent. So you can imagine...
It makes me violent! Okay.
Imagine how people reacted when they found the dolphin video.
Despite says, I've never smelled one of my wife's farts in 14 years. I've heard them plenty of times. Yeah. Well, just know that they're in there. They're in there with you. They're in the room with you right now. And you might not smell them. You might have gotten like nose blind to them, but other people can smell them.
On December 30th, 2007.
I'm just letting you know. Other people, when they walk into your house, they think it's you.
The North Fur YouTube channel.
It's not you.
Uploaded
but that's what she's banking on. She is all like, hopefully they think it's so sleepy because, I'm going to blame it on it. And if you're a gentleman, you'll take the fall. If you're a gentleman, you'll take the fall.
This alarming clip of the dolphin
Hog dog. Yeah, write that down. Jot that down.
muzzle in a full range of motion. And Pandora's fursuit
Hog. Oh, my God. Hog Dog says girls who don't wash out loads have no soul. What the fuck, bro? What the fuck? Whoa! Whoa!
Was officially unzipped. In no time at all, screenshots of...
That's a hard stance to take. That's a hard stance to take. I don't know why. I mean, I don't even know why that like occurred to you, but okay. Have you noticed a pattern? Like you full tank a chick and then she just doesn't go to the bathroom and sit on the toilet for 10 minutes and you're like, "Oh, she's one of them." Is that what happens to you, dog? Is it? I'm legitimately curious. How did you come to that conclusion? Where chicks who don't wash loads out of their haha have no souls? That's wild. That is a wild conclusion to come to.
The Dolphin Man began surfacing everywhere. NeoGaf.
Hog says, my ex didn't wash her beaver. She has no soul. Well, somebody else is diving into that pit.
4chan. Macro-chan.
Good for you. Good for you. Ew, dude.
And as is protocol online, if you don't know where something came from, just start making shit up. Rumors quickly spread that this was footage from some government experiment to turn people into Kyle's dad. Others claim that it was a banned Facebook video from 2004, even though it was filmed in 2006. Others still insisted that the original audio was actually lost media, uploading hoax versions of the video with their own audio and claiming that that was the original footage.
Is this like a terrorist cell video? Is this like a Al Qaeda video, right? They're training dolphins.
And for the next 13 years, far past the point where you could simply Google this and find out where it came from, the urban...
Hog Dog says load stew. Don't ever load... Ew.
Legends persisted.
Kabuki says she's a collector. Ew, guys, stop it. You're ruining my show.
So why did people...
You're ruining my show with your names for load goblins.
Freak out like this. I'm not going to insult your intelligence here. There's a pretty glaring issue with this design. It's a touch too realistic for its own good. And it came along during an era of the internet where we were all briefly obsessed with Super Mario in real life.
Mario? Mario. It's Mario. Mario, you dumb bitch. Mario? Come on. This is like a chick who's like really nerdy or pretends to be nerdy about video games. And she's like, oh yeah, I love Super Mario. And then you're like, ugh. 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 And you're like, what was your first system? And she's like, the Wii. And you're like, ugh.
In real life. For millions of people in the 2010s, Uncanny Valley images were their first contact with internet hoax imagery. And armed with this knowledge, people came away with two game theories about the dolphin guy. Either he was disturbing because furry's bad and the artists that made him sucked, and did I mention furry's bad? Or he was creepy because someone wanted him to look.
How many views does this have? There's 200K. And how many views? How many views? What's the save views? 387K views.
That way, because it was a fetish thing. So to really figure out why this image exists, we gotta talk about a really freaky guy in a bathtub named Jonathan Galindo. Part 2. Goofy gooning. So in 2020, kids on the internet were legitimately living in fear of this photorealistic Goofy cosplay in piss yellow lighting with dead eyes. But one look at this image and you can tell that it's significantly older than TikTok. So where did this furry nightmare fuel par excellence come from?
Par excellence. Anyways, where were we? This chick sucks. Shocking.
On January 28, 2012, a user on the furry art site Fur Affinity, going by Dusky Sam, began documenting his progress on a Goofy cosplay.
Pretty good, I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty talented. Much better than the cosplay you have, where you just look goofy. Too much makeup. Too much makeup, alright? You're trying to hide something that's like We know you're gross. We know you're gross under all of that, dude. But you probably spent 2 hours putting all that shit on. I can see the ring lights in your eyes. Okay? They're doing you no favors. You can't brush your hair? Put on a different shirt? Ugh.
Combination of clothes, makeup, and a dog snout prosthetic that he had purchased from North Fur FX. Dusky Sam uploaded a series of 29 photos showing off the range of his talents. He even dipped his toe into some alt history predictions. And this was all well received until it hit 4chan in 2015. Internet sleuths began digging deeper, and in no time at all, they found his Xtube account. Over the next...
What is Xtube? Is Xtube porn? Is Xtube pornography? Is this guy dressing up like Goofy and then doing pornography? Is he doing that?
3 years, different Goofy photos, explicit and otherwise, began to surface on Reddit, sparking discussion about which side should have actually won.
This is what Hitler died trying to prevent. He's not wrong.
World War II. But the videos have long since been taken down.
Goofy gooning. Yeah, he's being goofy. He's being goofy. This is some deeply perverted shit, dude. This is some shit that went back to his childhood. Like, he was watching, like, some Disney cartoon, and, like, you know, his weird drunk uncle comes in, and he's like, hey, you know, you're like Goofy. And then it kind of spiraled to now where he, like, sucks cock with a Goofy face on. It's sad. It's sad. Sorry, but you're going to get executed anyway. People in my administration... This is my platform. I shall execute people who are sexual deviants. And there will be... There's no mercy. There's just going to be no mercy. Slaughter wholesale. Like, really. And, like, you're all like, well, what do you consider a sexual deviant? Well, you asking that question makes you a sexual deviant. So I'm going to eliminate you. You know what it is. You know exactly what it is. If you have to ask, you are one, and I shall destroy you.
Hosting them is
Get against the wall, and hop in the helicopter. I'm going to push you out at altitude, right? And then you push him out. And it's like the Goofy laugh. Yeah, it's going to be fun. And when I'm in charge, it's going to be a lot of fun. And you know the weird thing is, that might happen. I know I do all this shit, but who knows? There could be some random freak occurrence, like order of events, where it just turns out I happen to be the leader of the leader of the world one day, and then I'm going to assert my rule. I'm going to be wearing like a general's outfit, even though I've never served time in the military. And, yeah, people will fear me. I don't need to be loved. I need to be respected.
It seemed like Dusky Sam could finally put all of this behind him. Until 2019. That year, a new offshoot of an infamous...
Yeah, Hug Dog says, whoa!
whale-themed internet challenge had just taken off. Numerous identical...
puff at the bottom. That was him. That was his life, right? We couldn't live like that.
Accounts popped up across all social media sites claiming to be someone named Jonathan Galindo.
Despite says perfect cult leader, pirate, and politician. Have a lot of overlap. Yeah. I mean, I think they all kind of blend together. They fold nicely. So I'll be the gentleman pirate / politician. But not really, because I'm not going to be a politician. Tyrant would be more apropos, but because I don't want people to vote for me. I don't want people to think they chose me as their leader. That makes them think they have power. They don't.
Who looked like this and
That's
threatened to dox children unless they performed some...
Full-blown tyranny. I'm talking full-blown, no, you didn't vote me in. It's just I'm running the show now. Okay, somehow I'm running the show now, and yep, Say goodbye to your families.
Permanent act. It seems obvious.
I mean, gay people don't have families, so say goodbye to your monkeypox.
Now that this was not all just one guy, but TikTokers weaponized their collective 10 IQ anyway, and uncritically made the connection between Dusky Sam's cosplay and the fictional persona of Jonathan Galindo. And they came after him so hard that Samuel Canini, the actual human being behind Dusky Sam, had to issue an official statement disavowing any connection between his artwork and the challenge. And it was at this point, researching the video...
What was the challenge? Did I miss the challenge? What was the challenge? Background says, no questions, just go for it. Oh, nothing's stopping me. I'm not... Yeah, no questions. No questions!
Oh, that I hit a wall. I knew...
I want people to, like... You know how, like, Aladdin came into Agrabah? That's how I'm going everywhere. Right? Fuck Air Force One. I'm going everywhere on an elephant with a parade. It's going to be tedious, right? I'm going to go from Washington to California. It'll take me months. It'll take me absolute months. There's going to be people throwing rose petals, and then there's cameras following me and stuff, a parade, a band and stuff like that. I'll get bored, but it's really more about sending a message.
In my gut that this was connected to a fetish thing somehow. I wasn't convinced that this could possibly just end with the Goofy Nightmare bathtub, but I figured, okay, there's one more furry
bathtub. Who's gonna drink Goofy's bathwater? Who volunteers to drink Goofy's bathwater? We gotta make it a challenge. Gotta make it. We gotta donate some money. Somebody has to do it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing that.
Nightmare Fuel classic that I haven't looked into yet.
I wouldn't even drink that one gross chick. What is her name? Belle Delphine, who like puts on a mountain of makeup on her face and pretends she's hot even though she's super mid. No, I'm not going to drink your nasty bathwater. Gross. No, thank you. I'm not going to buy it for $30 a jar and then guzzle it down like a cold beer. No, thank you. Gross. What is wrong with people? What the fuck is wrong with... I guarantee you that somebody didn't buy that just to keep it on a shelf. And a lot of people... It's sold out. Her entire bathtub sold out. $30 a jar. People ordered that. It came in the mail. The first thing he did was like... goop, goop, goop. Nasty. That's disgusting. That's absolutely horrible. And you're a horrible person. You're a horrible person. And this is why you buy bathwater from an e-girl. You animal. Ugh. You don't know who... Ew, dude. You don't know who's dumping loads in that thing. Because you are... Ew. Ugh.
It's probably nothing. But, you know, maybe it'll contain...
Kabuki says not even a sip. No, I'm not taking a sip of herpes water. No, thank you. No. I see no benefit to me in any way. Why would I do that? Would you do that, Kabuki? Who in this chat would drink bathwater from that chick? From that chick specifically. From Belle Delphine. Who would drink Belle Delphine bathwater? Top of the curve Belle Delphine, right? Like she's aged quite a bit. So let's say peak Belle. Who's drinking that bathwater? Who's drinking peak Belle Delphine bathwater? No. Yeah. No. No one's doing that. No one with any sort of like self-respect is going to do that. Which, I mean, I get who the people in my chat are, but come on. That's disgusting. Why would you do that?
Very specific phrase that only gets used.
Dan's not called me a fag. What?
In a very obscure DeviantArt fetish community that gets so balls to the wall with it that even furries don't want to touch it. You know.
Despite what about the FAGs that bought that TLC chicks fart in a jar? Farts in a jar? All right. Isn't it hard to jar a fart? Wouldn't it be difficult to jar a fart? And I would be, look, I could sell bathwater. Like, you can buy my limited edition Sulk bathwater. It will be gray. So I could sell bathwater, but like a fart, that takes a little bit more doing. That means I have to like wait for my farts, and then when I have a fart to express, I grab a jar, which means I need to keep one near me at all times, right? Because you never know when they're going to come. I can't schedule my farts. If I would do that. So you got to keep a jar next to you at all times, probably with like a little bit of cotton or something in there, just something for the smell to stick to. You grab the jar, you unscrew it, you put it up to the old rear cannon, and then you blast a fart in there, and then quickly remove it and then cap it so it doesn't escape like a fucking ghost from Ghostbusters or something. That is one jar. That's one jar. That's not like a bath. I could take one bath and make 100 jars of bath water. Again, grayish brown. 100 jars of bath water. And I could send them out. It'd take me one day. A fart, each one is unique. It's like a snowflake, right? I wish I could have like a little sound graph. It's so right? Maybe one of those QR codes where you point your phone at and then it gives you the sound. And then you hear it and you're like, oh, okay. Oh. There you go. There you go. Patented Sulk fart. That would be $100 a jar. Easily $100. I wouldn't do it for less than $100 a jar. If somebody wants to buy my fart, $100, I will send you a fart. Send me your address and I'll do it. You give me $100 to send you a fart in a jar, I'll do that. I'm not going to like ask a bunch of questions. The QR part might be a little tough.
Hypothetically. Part 3. The Redbubble Dog Man. So it turns out I was partial.
Despite says watch the link. Okay, fine, I'll watch the link. All right. Hold on. Is that farts in the jar? Farts in the jar type of thing? Because okay.
I am the queen of business ventures. I make anywhere between $60,000 to $80,000 a month. Last year, one of my ideas was to start selling fart jars. And I was like, come on, Mom, how do you think I really got all this stuff? Mom, I wanted to tell you about my latest business venture.
Mom's not pleased.
Okay. After retiring from doing fart jars, I've been looking for the next step. I have been getting some requests from people to...
What? That's insane.
I am an entrepreneur, founder.
Whore. You're not an entrepreneur. You're a whore. You're a sex worker. Entrepreneur. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna give it to her. I'm gonna give you the title of entrepreneur. But you're basically a whore. You're a prostitute. You're an online prostitute. Whatever. If you're fine with that, I'm fine with that too. Okay. You do you. But let's just be honest. Don't be like, I'm an entrepreneur. You're not fancy like that, okay? You fart into a jar. And you might poop a little into that same jar. Do you charge extra for that? Or is it one of those things where like, oh, I pooped in this one, I can't send that? That's a legitimate question. If there's a little bit of poop, does that make it more valuable or less valuable? Is that like the irregular M&Ms? Or is that like a collector's item?
And CEO of my own fan subscription platform, YouTuber, social media influencer, fartrepreneur.
Fart jar inspired candles just in time for Valentine's Day.
In 2020, I made over $1 million on OnlyFans. Unfiltered is pretty much my baby.
Okay, that's pretty good. Kabuki Set says, would you sell your loads? Jess would be upset with me.
Maybe it is my 18 and up.
But if I were to sell my loads, it would be $1,000 a pop. Easily. $1,000 a pop for a load. Yeah, because I'm not conjuring up loads like that, dude. 2 a day tops is what I can make. All right. So $1,000 a pop. I mean, if you really want to like spend good money, I could wait a few days and like really fill that sucker up. So we would discuss prices after, in more private chats and stuff. Yeah, okay, fine. I'll sell my loads.
Fan subscription platform.
Yeah, $1,000 bucks, $1,000
wanted
pop.
something out there that represents.
Couch Surfing says those are my loads. Kabuki says John's golden loads. Okay, again, 1,000. What do we got over here? This is a 1,001. Can we get a 1,001? 1,500. For John's loads. What's John's loads? I will.
Creators and that had creators' best interests at heart. I think that just made me orange.
Honey, it's $1,000 a load, okay? And I'm just throwing them away. So, like, you wanted that new kitchen. How about a load kitchen? A load-bearing kitchen.
No, today I have a very busy day. I will be working on a photo shoot. I'm going to be...
Arden Shire says, I was reliably informed I would have a great reset soon. You personally, or like the entire economy? Because if that's so, at least I have my loads, which are going for $1,000 a load. So $1,000 a jar for my load. It's 1 load per jar. All right. I'm not double loading jars. That's just not how it works.
Doing some new branding.
Couch Surfing says $1,500. $1,500 for a load. It's not even fair. This is my money.
For my website. And later on, I'm meeting up with my...
Oh, you're offering my loads for $1,500. Okay. Why do you treat me like a prostitute? You're going to milk me like a cow? Am I like a prize bull? You're just going to do a jar? And I'm just supposed to sit there with like a VR headset that just has porn? It's just VR. I'm just chewing constantly. Getting jerked off.
My mom.
Hey, it sounds like a good life. I'm in. I am fucking in.
Discuss some new moves in my business. Just a typical day in the life of me. All right, come on. Let me show you a few of my things. I went on a pretty crazy shopping spree when I was in Paris. I bought this bag, and it is the mini luggage.
And then you just waste your money on bags and shit. You're going to be broke when you get ugly. It happens to all of them. You're going to be broke when you get ugly because you buy bags and stuff. It's so stupid.
Purse. This one was around $7,000.
That was not worth $7,000. I'm sorry. That wasn't. I'm not sorry. You're stupid. You have a bunch of bags. It's retarded. They're ugly too.
We've got Balenciaga. We've got Gucci right here. These shoes with this bag.
And she sells farts in jars. She sells farts. And I'm over here selling my loads for $1,500 a load. All right. So get them while supplies last, I guess.
Oh, yeah. I feel like my taste is a mix of sleepy schoolgirl mixed with classy elegance, but also sometimes a little trashy. Over here,
a little trashy.
We have my Moschino jacket. Now, how?
Background noise says, I bet this is still her parents' house. Maybe, maybe not. I'm sure her parents come over all the time because she's like, I mean, maybe she has a man. I kind of doubt it. And if she does, he's kind of sucks.
How cute would this outfit look? It was, I believe, around $3,000. When you're in the throes of a shopping spree, you don't check the prices of things. I just go nuts. You just throw them your credit card. I think this closet...
Rushing Mats says bags are an investment. They actually hold resale value. They're not worth it. They're not worth. It doesn't matter if they hold resale. Yes, you can sell it to another woman who makes stupid decisions with her money. That's not holding as resale value. That's just one woman tricking another woman. This woman got tricked. She can in turn trick another woman into paying just as much money. It's not holding its value.
It is probably worth somewhere around $75,000. These are like very, very special occasion items. Like most of the time I wear.
Art and Shia says, John, bottle it. Say it's French facial cream. Bitches will buy it. I mean, for a special price, I can come and I can give you one straight from the tap. Rub it in. It'll be kind of warm, but that means it'll work better. If you want $2,500, I'll come on your face.
Yoga pants and
I'm just, you know, you got to make a living.
Sweatshirts.
$2,500, and I'll come over and we'll make like a thing. I'll put on some music and I'll come on your face.
This is where
with my VR headset and me chewing my cud. And my wife jerks me off onto your face. That's how we're going to do it.
I create content. This is the fun and spicy closet.
Rushing Matt says I'd rather fuck her mother. And I get that because she seems gross. She just seems nasty.
I love collabing with my sexy blow up alien. I have a few videos with him.
I'm not surprised.
Cowboy hat, helmet, Von Dutch hat. I'm not really sure what I was going for there.
Jess is selling my loads by the bottle. So if you can you 3D print me like a vial of some sort of vial that would like look fancy? You know how they sell perfume, but it's like John loads. They dab it on. All right. I mean, the shit's expensive. You don't want to use it all at once.
Last fart jar. Holding on to it. I did plan on auctioning this one late last year. I went very, very viral because I was selling my farts in a jar.
How long do the farts last? Ooh, why is my farts and why? Because I like to say, one whiff makes memories that last a lifetime.
Ooh, ew, dude. So you open that in your house? Who's gonna, like, why would you do that? Why would you open that in your house? And then you just let whore fart, like, in your kitchen. Oh, it smells like whore fart in here. It's a very specific tang, right? It's right on the tongue.
And unfortunately, I
like,
was
it's whore fart, isn't
hospitalized
it?
because I got a little bit overzealous and was producing too many farts and ended up in the emergency room because I thought I was having a heart attack, but it turned out to just be
a fart attack? Did I get it? Was it a fart attack?
gas pains.
What? I'm sorry. What were you doing to make so many farts? I legitimately want to know because I want to know. Like, if there's something I want to get out of in the future, I want to do that to myself. I'd be like, I'm sorry, I have really bad farts. Can I please tell me? Tell me what you took. Is this some sort of gas station fart pill?
So I made about $200,000 selling my farts in the jar, but I was forced into an early retirement. To the people who...
How? How? Why did you force your farts out? Why didn't you let them come out naturally?
Are questioning or
don't tell me you don't make enough farts, because you're lying.
Judging me? Thank you. Everything's been...
Despite says, how do we go from making fun of people who buy farts in jars to you coming on people? Well, business is business.
Done. So...
You know. And I'm not coming on people until they pay, right? Hit my PayPal, put $1,500 in it, and then I'll come into a jar. I'll find a jar somewhere. I'll get a nice jar. I'll come into it, and then I'll send it off to you, and it'll be on ice. It'll be good. It'll be fresh.
when something comes about that.
She was eating a lot of greens and beans, yeah. But that doesn't put you in the hospital, right? She was doing something. You know what I bet she was doing? I bet she was pumping air into her ass. I guarantee you, she had like some sort of bicycle pump, and then she put the hose in her butt, and then she was like like this, right? And just pump it, and then she's right. Then she just farts and like pinches, and then farts, and then pinches, and then there's another guy, and he's just the jar guy. It's a tough job. It's a tough job. That has to be it, though. She was probably putting air into her ass, and then she put too much air into her ass, and it probably like burst her lower intestine or something. That's the only way I can see that happening, because you can't make enough gas in your ass to actually put you in the hospital. What puts you in the hospital? It has to be a bicycle pump, maybe an air compressor, right? Really dangerous.
Makes you have a reaction that's special. I would say in total, between the two Porsche Macans and the Porsche Taycan, I've spent $260,000 in cars. Today, I'm going to be doing some promo content for my business. Hi!
It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
I'm excited to shoot.
I'm so excited.
Good.
So my site has a
So you're gonna fart into a jar?
new landing page.
Okay.
And I need some images I can use.
This would be cute. I specialize in pinup, boudoir, burlesque, and all sorts of sexy photography stuff.
Ooh, what is this? I like this. This,
Okay,
yeah. This.
This is cute. Steph's a great entrepreneur. I appreciate that.
She's fat, dude. She's fat. So you buy fat chick farts? You buy fat chick farts? $200,000? Dude, the world is coming to an end. Why would you buy fat chick farts?
She always has a good work ethic. That's perfect.
She has a bloated face.
Turn a little to side with that up. That was cute.
She's really not that. She's not that attractive. She's all right. I would score her a 6.5. 6.4. You know, slightly above mid, just on the upper side of mid, but still mid, right? Still fat. You're gross.
Perfect. Going up here? Yeah.
Russian Matt says, I'm no Brad Pitt, and I have definitely fucked way harder chicks. There you go, dude. Like, come on. She's not that attractive. And you're buying... Who is so thirsty? I know. I don't even... I'm answering my own question, because I know exactly who's so thirsty that they would buy fat chick farts. But it's sad. It's sad. Because... I mean, you could go to like a Curves and get them for free, right? You just walk in there and it's like it smacks you in the face, right? Like you ever walk into an old folks home? It's like that, dude. It's like,
She's always easy in front of the camera.
You see, I feel like there's a lot of Photoshop. There's a lot of editing going on. So is that even you? If you have to like Photoshop and like filter the shit out of your stuff, is that even you? It's not. I've seen chicks put up complete from the ground up AI and claim that's them. AI from the ground up, like very clearly, not even trying to hide it, just like AI. And then I want you to imagine this is me. That's what I've seen that. That's not you though. What skill are you providing? What are you doing? You're fat and chubby. I would never buy your farts. And if I did, I would just use them to, I don't know, throw at people's houses, I guess.
Cool. I think we got it. These look amazing.
Awesome. I'm so excited. I'm meeting up with my mom.
Rushing Matt says she definitely has no ass. Well, where do you think the farts come from?
To discuss some new moves in my business.
Bowel moves.
I grew up with a single mother in
No shit.
Czech Republic.
No shit, huh? Single mom? No shit.
Moved to the United States when I was about 7, 8 years old. It was a little bit of a struggle, but my mom never really let me know that we were struggling. If my mother...
I bet her mom was hot when she was younger.
Told me outright to stop what I'm doing, I would not stop because I would never simply...
Your mom's not going to tell you to stop. Your mom's an old Ukrainian whore, and you're bringing in cash, so I think she's okay with it.
Stop for anyone but myself.
She's like 1984 hot, yeah?
She knows that it's going to be crazier than fart jars. So, what's next?
What is next? Tell us. Is it piss? Is it piss? Are you going to sell your piss? You selling piss?
Coming! It's your grandma. Hey!
Hi.
What's up?
Hi, baby.
Hi.
How was your photo shoot today?
It was really good. I think the photos came out really well.
Cheers.
Cheers. Mom,
Piss.
I know you haven't always agreed
She's single too.
with everything I've done,
She's single too because I see this house and it's just like, she's single too.
but I invited you over today because I wanted to tell you about my latest business venture.
Okay.
I have been getting some requests from
Is it pubes? Kabuki says pubes. Could be pubes.
people to start selling my used bed sheets.
What?
Okay. Okay, sure. Gross. I mean,
Insane. Are you serious? Why would you do that?
Well, I'm logistically thinking about it, and I'm thinking about how many times a night I am farting in my bed.
I'm farting a lot. And so she does not sleep with a man. So she's single. So she does not sleep with a man alone, farting in her bed alone, because no one's going to buy the man farts. Because if there's a man sleeping he's going to fart more. And then that scent is going to overpower the delicate essence that she imparts onto her sheets. So no man involved.
In my sheets. Why are you laughing?
Because,
Do you think it's embarrassing?
I don't think it's embarrassing. I just think it's really very
Whorish.
unusual.
And I was thinking of naming the bed sheets Holy Sheets.
Holy shit! Are you kidding?
I'm a lady in the streets, but
Nope. You're a whore in the streets. And,
freak in the sheets.
I'm gonna drop dead. I have to say, that's unique.
Yeah, it's unique. Holy sheet.
Holy sheet. Cheers to holy sheet.
Well, I'm
Disgusting.
happy that I have your support.
You always have my support, baby. You know that.
No. Parents should not just support their kids in whatever they're doing. That's not, no. You can't just be like, no, you do whatever you want and I'll support you, because I'm not going to do that. I'll be like, the fuck you are. You're not doing that.
Stephanie has been always very smart. Some of the business adventures that she does are obviously not something that I would have done, but I completely support her. I trust her.
I'm happy that my idea of Holy Sheets made her laugh instead of cry. She cried from laughter instead of sadness or humiliation. I think there's always more money to be made, and so I never limit myself. I think that I could always...
Rushing Matt says all you need is a can of tuna and water to fake it. Okay, gross.
end up a billionaire tomorrow.
All of this is gypsy adjacent? Yeah. And she's not even cute. Really, she's not cute. Like, she's definitely on her downward arc. But there's people out there, man, going to hell. Those people are going to hell, dude. I'm sure of that.
Actually right about this fetish thing, because this is where it gets really weird. So a few weeks ago, Pug Poggers on Twitter asked me to find the origin of these two images. The one on the right is kind of a dead end, and it's most likely AI generated. But the one on the left is actually a Nightmare Fuel classic from 2009. Uploaded to DeviantArt that year by artist Jagdragon, it doesn't look like much. In fact, it was just this guy's Photoshop project for his CG arts class, and his intention was to morph himself with his dog. But the internet had other plans for him. And in the mid-2010s, this image made the usual rounds on Reddit and Imager, and everyone made their usual kill it with fire comments. One Redditor found this image so frightening, he demanded to know if this actually happened to someone in real life.
People on Reddit are fucking retarded.
To this day, no one has answered him. But the dog man also appeared on one other website you wouldn't expect. If you reverse search this, you'll find a listing for a sticker on Redbubble. And the listing name isn't furry anything or dog man or anything like that. It's
Vorme? What is Vor the Rich? Vor.
Simply reads zoomorph sticker. So I went on deviantart.edu and typed in zoomorph and found this, and this, and this, and all of these. Because even though the dolphin muzzle, bathtub goofy, and the dog man are not exclusively fetish images as intended by the artists, in one of the worst coincidences ever, they happen to look exactly
No, you can't pet that dog.
Something DeviantArt immediately recommends when you click on this image. The zoomorph humiliation fetish. But if you want to hear a sentence that's a little less upsetting, try this video was sponsored by Meta PCs. Customized, for example, on this post by the Theoryanthropist about a hot young blonde being turned into a lioness against her will, the sole comment reads, "Continue with the experiments." Or this post of a dog girl using a selfie of dubious origin, where the comments praise
her mom fucked dogs. That's probably what happened. And then she got into it too.
Her remarkable.
She loves catching the knot.
Remarkable beauty.
If you know what I mean, yeah.
And one calls her good girl. You get the point. But even lacking comments, the fetish tells alone.
People are going to hell. I think that's just. I think that's just the case. People are going to hell. Hold on, let's get a different Patty Gurdy song. What was it? What's a banger? What's a banger though? Was this any good? Okay, whatever, sure. Thank you so much for coming to my show. It was the Sulk stream / pirate stream, all that. Thank you so much for coming. Loads for sale. So if you want my loads, go ahead and hit me up on Twitter at SulkStreamOFF, and I'll sell you a load, $1,000. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good night. Stay strong. Buy my loads. Support me in any way you can. I'll be not on Daywave tomorrow because I'm taking my bridge apart, but I'll be right back here on the Sulk stream to entertain you and maybe sell some loads. Anyways, guys, until tomorrow night, I hope you guys have a good night. Stay strong, stay valiant, stay perfect and pretty in all the things you do because you're a cult member and you make me proud every single day, and I love you so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Drink water. Get a good night's sleep. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you. Bye.
I'm an incredible soul, unhinged and enraged like a bulldog's just growl. I'm spitting fire, burning through these trees, questioning the world, unraveling conspiracies. Talking about Bigfoot, Black Ness Monster 2, government lies that